Hello guys, guess what? We are not at Best Bus because we're at the airport. Yes, for once I don't have to get on the bus and I'm kind of happy about that. So today we're flying to Atlanta, Georgia, and it's my first time being there, so I'm kind of excited to explore a new city. So let's get going. I made it to Atlanta and I'm in a strange car with like a push button start and I'm like, what? How does this thing work? I probably look like an idiot, but you know, we're in like a little Nissan 4-door thing and I can't even buckle my seatbelt while I'm talking. Like, ugh. I'm pretty hungry, but I wasn't about to pay for airport food, so I'm gonna stop and get some lunch on the way, and we're gonna go find our Airbnb. Let's go. You guys, I just got to my Airbnb, and look how cute this little welcome sign is. And then, first of all, cactus pillow, but look, it says pin where you're from, and then I turned and there is this huge map on the wall, and look, all the people have pinned where they came from when they stayed here, and that is so cool. How cute is this? Okay, you guys, alright, so I have pinned my bangs back because they are bugging me, but whew, the Airbnb where I'm staying has a couple of toddlers and they are running laps right now and I am not in the mood. My stomach also feels kind of wonky, so, and the best thing usually for that is for me to just like walk around and just walk it off. So guess what? We're gonna go thrifting. I'm gonna go to the Salvation Army, which I doubt it's gonna be open because it's already after 5 p.m. But there is a Plato's Closet, which is open until 9, and that's like taking me more towards civilization, so I can actually see what this town looks like, because right now I'm in the middle of nowhere. So let's go exploring a bit. Yay! As presumed, Salvation Army was closed, so we're at Plato's Closet, and it looks like a pretty substantially sized one, so let's see what's in there. Okay, so all I have found are these 3 pairs of Lily shorts, but they're all size 0 and 00, even though they're only $12 a piece, which is really good. I think they'd be too small to sell. I don't know what to do. Also, look at these Converse. They're like copper and they have pearls, but the magic price of the day is $18. All the shoes seem to be $18. It's too much for me today. Ooh. So at this point I'm feeling a little bit better, but not great still, so I'm just roaming for things that catch my eye, kind of. And in the dress section, I just haven't seen anything really that's like eye-catching. Hello, except this. Look at this, Romeo and Juliet. How adorable is that? How much? $14. Like, I want to keep this for myself. Oh my god, it's so cute. I might try this on. So, I just found this Lily Pulitzer beach cover-up with little fish on it, and I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a little palm tree button. Cute. But it is a small, like it is very tiny. I don't know. It's $14. Right, but also they have Jack Rogers. $19. I would think they would charge way more for these. So I just found this Cabana Life, 10 bucks, and it is new with tags, 94 bucks. It's really cute. I might get it. I think that it's gonna be worth it. I just realized, look at my purse and look at my boots. I am so coordinated today. Unintentional. Cool. Alright guys, it has been a very long day. As you can see, I did end up leaving Plato's with only that Cabana Life dress because it was 10 bucks and the other dress was 14 bucks, and that was a little bit on the high end for me to spend. And if this doesn't sell, I figure I'll keep it. It turns out it's a beach cover-up, not a dress anyway. But after that, I ended up going to TJ Maxx and buying a bathing suit, which I had no intention of doing, but you know what happens in TJ Maxx. And then I went to Target, got some snacks and some essentials because my stomach is still feeling like a little bit weird from all this traveling. I think it's just destroying my body. But now I'm going to relax and go to bed early because once again my stomach is like, so I will catch you again in the morning. Welcome to the next day of the vlog, and I've had a little bit of a crazy start to the day. I got a text from my dad this morning at 8:30 as soon as I woke up saying that the winds are crazy high in Virginia. The power is out at our house and the surrounding area. Everything is closed, the federal government, schools, everything. This storm turned out to be really crazy, and he wants me to not fly home tonight. And I was like, well, I can't think about that right now. A, because I'm not awake, and B, I have this audition stuff today, so, and it's not till 2 p.m. My flight's not till 10:20, so I'm hoping that I can just get on my flight as scheduled, the wind like dies down, because I really don't want to have to go through all this stuff of like rescheduling a flight and finding a place to stay tonight and all that jazz. So needless to say, I got a little stressed out this morning, but I've checked out of my Airbnb. As you can see, I'm ready for my audition, so, and I'm not feeling the greatest. Like, I'm not feeling 100% today anyways. My nose is kind of congested and I'm like, my throat feels weird. So I'm gonna go drown my stress in IHOP pancakes, because how else do you handle stress? So I found an IHOP and I'm gonna go eat now. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. Wow, you guys, Georgia is crazy. 2 employees from that IHOP literally rushed to open the door for me as I entered. Like, wow, I feel like a princess today. But I know it's just because I'm in the South. Like, what? People are so nice down here. Anyway, I realized that my audition could be in 2 locations because the studio has 2 locations. And I was like, crap. So I've emailed the director and I've got like 3-ish hours still until I have to be there. So I'm hoping upon hopes that she checks her email before then, because I don't know where to go. So I'm gonna try the Peachtree City location first. I'm gonna go super early and I'm going to hope that it's there. And then if not, I can easily drive back to Noonan. So I really hope that I'm in the right place. But for now, I've got a little time to kill, so guess what? I'm gonna go to another thrift store because I'm a crazy person. Hello, guys. Yeah. Boy, do I have some things to tell you. This trip to Atlanta did not live up to my expectations in so many ways. I think, like, I've had a couple of, like, trips to New York that weren't so great, but, like, this trip was not good. Okay, Main reason it was not great was because I was freaking travel sick. I never used to get this way, and I don't know when this has started to happen to me. Literally, the last time I even flew on an airplane last summer, I didn't have this problem. And I don't know where it came from. But I've noticed it on my trips to New York a couple of times too, but I thought it was just because the bus or whatever was like doing it to me, motion sickness. But no, flying on airplanes makes me sick now. So, like, traveling in general makes me sick. I have just figured this out. So, and I'm not too happy about it. When I touched down in Atlanta, I was not feeling too great. The weather was not great either. As you saw, it was dark and rainy and gross. And the temperature change as well, like from Virginia to Georgia, was like drastic. So I went from like 20-degree weather in Virginia to like 60, which always gives me a headache. But my stomach was just like churning, and I thought, what is happening? I haven't eaten that much. It can't be something I ate. So, but I had to take some meds. I got like Pepto-Bismol at Target that night, and I tried to take that to calm it down, but basically, no matter what I did for the remainder of the time I was there, including the day of the audition, like nothing really made me feel better. So it was a struggle, to say the least. Like the Pepto-Bismol helped a little bit, like it curbed it just enough so that I could like survive through the audition, but I did not dance well that day. I felt dizzy. I felt lightheaded. It was not good. Get to the audition, the day of the audition, and I'm already not feeling the greatest, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be fine. Like, you'll do class, you'll survive. Like, I've taken class before with 104 fever. I can survive this. It's fine. And I'm not a person to complain that often. Like, I will just suck it up and do it anyways. So I went in, and come to find out that the director is not going to be there that day because she had a family emergency, which I totally understand. And I thought to myself, okay. But I think she was the assistant artistic director, if I'm not mistaken. She was there, and she was going to teach the class and everything. So I thought, okay, like, that's fine. They'll probably talk with each other and about my dancing, about my whatever. Like, I assumed that the assistant artistic director like knew who I was because I had sent my resume in weeks before. So I assumed they communicated with each other. And I was totally fine with it. So I went in, I met the girls who danced there. They were all very nice, very welcoming. They chatted with me and made me feel comfortable, which was really great. And I was ready for class. And we started class, and it was a little bit Balanchine-esque. She described it as cicchetti, which, if you don't know, is the Italian method. It wasn't ideal. So everything was a little bit faster, which on a good day, if I was feeling 100%, I probably could have dealt with it and been fine. But because I was already feeling travel sick and lightheaded, I could not get my body to move fast enough. It just was not happening. And then for some reason, I think the stress of everything was getting to me. And I actually, like, I don't cry very often. I'm just one of those people that doesn't. And like, I started tearing up right before we went to the center for the second half of the class. And I was like, what is wrong with me today? Like, I don't know what was happening. So I was like trying to compose myself for the rest of the class. And I was like, calm down. Don't get frustrated with yourself. It's not your fault. You are just freaking sick. Okay. So I was trying to like pep talk myself through all of this, through the second half of the audition. And then the class ended, I made it through, I was like, okay, fine. And then I was supposed to have an interview with the assistant artistic director in her office after class, which I was looking forward to because it gave me the chance to talk my resume out and like sort of describe my skill set and everything with my teaching and all of that. So I was excited because I didn't have the opportunity to do that at any of my other auditions so far. So I went to her office, and the first thing she asked me was like if I was okay, and understandably so, because, and I was honest with her. I told her I'm really travel sick. I don't feel good at all today. Like, I was struggling to do some things in class because I was feeling so sick. And she was like, oh no, that's totally fine. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. So we cleared that up. And then what I was expecting was for her to talk to me for like a good few minutes and allow me to elaborate on my resume. She would have specific questions to ask me because she had reviewed my resume ahead of time because I sent it weeks before. Turns out this is not the case. The artistic director might have done that, but the assistant artistic director, like, I could tell within 5 minutes of this interview, she had never looked at my resume before. She didn't have a clue where I was coming from or why I was interested in their company. Like, she did not know anything. And I was like, okay, so I'll just have to tell her everything. And she would ask me a question, and instead of letting me answer, she would let me get a sentence out, and then she would start talking over me. And which, after she did about 5 or 6 times, I was really annoyed. Needless to say, because I was already feeling like crap. So my patience, I'm the most patient person alive, but when I was not feeling well that day, I was like, could you stop interrupting me? Like, you're supposed to be interested in what I have to say, you know? Like, why can you not talk for a second so I can tell you about myself? So I was frustrated about that, and I was like trying to get as much information to her as I could, but it was like she would cut me short every single time. And then this went on for a grand total of probably 10 minutes. I think I was in her office total for 15 minutes. And in my opinion, that's not really enough amount of time to talk to a person that you're interested in adding to your company. I'm just like, maybe I don't know anything about the job world. Maybe that's a normal amount of time. But my thing was, she didn't say that she had something else to do that day, like, or that she needed to go teach, she needed to go do this, that, or the other. Like, she didn't have a reason to cut me off, and she didn't have a reason to tell me, like, thanks for coming, bye. You know? So I don't know if she was fed up with me and was not impressed with me at all, or if she thought I had an attitude problem, which I think I was very professional. I handled the situation professionally. But like, I didn't have the chance to ask her all the questions that I wanted to ask either. I asked her a couple of things, which she answered me to the best of her ability. But I was like, hello, I feel like we need to have a longer conversation than this. So, needless to say, that wasn't great. By the time I left, I was like 100% done with the trip. Like, I was so ready to just go home and sleep for 2 days straight because I was so sick and I was so annoyed that this hadn't turned out as I had expected. So I just drove to the airport. I returned my rental car because I think honestly that was part of the problem. Like, my rental car was making me so sick driving it because I don't know, I don't know if it was how I was driving it or if it was the car itself, but it was so small and like I was just so sick. I just couldn't handle riding in any vehicles. And so I went to the airport and I was 1,000% done with everything. And I'm just praying at this point that I can actually fly home because the crazy windstorm that was happening in Virginia that had knocked out our power was like still happening. And I was like, I just want to fly home. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to stay in this city anymore. Like, I just want to leave. And thankfully, my flight only took off like, I don't know, it was a little bit late. It was only like 20 minutes later than it was supposed to take off. And then the landing in DC, let me tell you, was pretty fun. Like, it was like we were dropping off cliffs over and over again, coming down into Dulles Airport. And I thought we were going to die, but we landed okay. As you can see, I survived. So, but then by this point, it was like, oh, I don't know, what time was it when we landed? It was like 12:30 in the morning. So I'm texting my dad and I'm like, all right, where's the hotel? Where are you staying? Because they went to a hotel because our power was out. So my dad had texted me earlier and was like, don't drive home. We're not there. We're in a hotel. Just drive to the hotel. So I was like, great. So I had to drive to the hotel, and I think I got there at 1:30 a.m. And by this point, like, I don't even remember half of the drive. Like, I don't remember driving. I don't remember anything because I was so sick and so tired. So we stayed in the hotel for one night, and thankfully our power came back on the next day. But, like, that was just an unnecessary addition to the end of this trip that was so bad. So that was my Atlanta experience. Company in particular, I think they're a very good company, and I think that it would be really great to dance for them. But there were a lot of aspects that came forward in the interview that kind of deterred me from wanting to dance there. One of those things being that they have class sizes in their school that are huge. I'm talking like you have one assistant teacher and you have like 30-something kids. And I was like, whew, that's a lot of kids. So, and to top it off, I don't even think they really had a teaching position for me, because the most she would tell me about was that I could teach, like, assistant teach in a combo class of like ballet and tap, which I don't have any experience with tap. I have no desire to teach tap. And I didn't just spend 7 years in college and coming up on 3 summers worth of certification in the Vaganova method to be an assistant teacher. That's not what I spent all of this time and money and effort doing. So that alone made me inclined to say, I don't want to work there, because if they're just going to tell me I'm going to be an assistant teacher for 2 years starting out, absolutely not. I have, on top of all of my credentials, I have 7 years of teaching experience in all age levels, and I'm just not going back to assistant teaching. That is just how I feel. So yeah, I'm sorry that this turned into a major complaining sesh. And I don't normally, I've tried to be positive about every single one of these experiences. Um, and this one was positive in the fact that I learned some valuable lessons going into this. I learned that I'm travel sick and that I need to take care of that before I go on a trip. So at least that won't happen again. So that was my number one thing. So at least I figured that out. The other thing was my Airbnb was nice. I had a really good night's sleep there and stuff. And Atlanta wasn't a horrible city. Like, I didn't hate it, but it's like, it was okay. So, anyway, and I got to take a trip and explore a place that I had never been to before. So, it was cool to do that because I love to travel. So, just preferably when I'm not sick as a dog. So, anyway, thanks for tuning into this vlog. I hope you enjoyed the little thrift with me in Plato's closet that I did. So, because that's basically almost all the footage that I have for this particular vlog. But I hope you enjoyed that. And actually that swim cover up that I tried on and showed you and everything, it already sold on Poshmark. So yeah, I'll still leave my Poshmark linked below if you're interested in checking it out. But just know that that swim cover-up already sold. So I was right about that one. I will link below the Plato's Closet that I went to, as well as my Poshmark. And I think that's all I need to link for this trip because I really didn't go too many places because I was so sick. So I'm gonna quit rambling, but thanks for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to do what you love what you do, and go on adventures. And I'll see you next time. Bye!